got me into the sport was wrestling in high school at Centennial in Corona, California. And I fell in love with the sport quickly. I had to wrestle at 215s. I was weighing 170 on a good day. And just the competition and just being you and that one other person out there in battle in front of everybody. And after a tournament one day, the rival team's coach came up to me and asked me if I wanted to fight at his gym, come and try it out. And I said, yeah, and ever since then, it's been a wrap. Loved it. There's a lot more. It's more of a chess match, and that's what intrigues me even more. It's just the strategy and the combativeness that's called from the sport. And you got to be a certain type of person to excel in it. With the chess match theory, it's if I can out-strategize him, if I can move to the place where I'm going to make him move to this place and land that punch or take that shot, then it's making the game that much easier. He's falling into your trap. It's an art. It's mixed martial arts, and just like it's on a canvas for a painter, it's on a canvas for us as well. So I mean, to put the brush strokes make a certain masterpiece, so my jabs make a certain masterpiece per se. Like, it goes together in that sense. So where you can't just get out there and make something and call it abstract art. You'll get knocked out. You have to have impressionist form, classic form, something like that. You have to have some type of base to build off of, to where you make your art your own and you expose it to everybody else. The people that influence me in the sport are actually just the legend himself, Bruce Lee, and then George St. Pierre is my favorite fighter. I think if you're gonna pick one now who's the greatest, it is George St. Pierre. But more than that, the person who inspires me to fight the most is Shaka Zulu. And just the story, the history, the lineage, the bloodline, it runs heavy. And there's a lot more reasons to fight than just the money, the purse, the girls, whatever comes with it. For me and for the guys I train with at least, it's about the fight and how much it affects your heart and your soul. In about 5 years from now, I see myself definitely in the UFC and just making my mark. I can stand here and joke and say UFC champion, but it hasn't hit me yet. You know what I mean? I know it's one of those things to where when I get there, I'm gonna have to learn how to get there and how to stay there and how to remain on top, which is gonna take a lot from me, a lot from my training partners, a lot from my gym. But we're ready to do it. But just all in good time. Pro, I'm gonna chill for a bit. I'm gonna probably wait about a year and a half, and just take my time, fine-tune my skills. Because when it's pro, that's when guys are there feeding families. That's when guys are ready. That's something, everybody has something to fight for. It's not gonna be guys that want to pad a record or get good at one thing. It's gonna be guys that they got a wife and family to get home to. And me being a young cat who's just trying to do this because it's my dream, to them, this is how they eat. So I'm ready for that, and that's also what drives me. Well, to prepare for Jason Robles was actually pretty hard because I didn't know I was fighting Jason Robles until about 16 hours before the fight. So it was pretty cool. I mean, I'm used to not knowing really who's it gonna be. It's just adds to our training philosophy here. It's just not training for a fighter per se. Like, of course, if he's a good wrestler, work on your takedown defense. But it's more of being the best fighter you can be when you step in that cage. So it's easier when you have short notice fights or don't know who you're fighting, is if you train just to be the best person you can be when you walk in there and just be ready for anything, except a straight right, I guess.
Starting with the blue corner, Lenon Ford.
Nickname is Zulu. Lenon Ford, at just 21 years old, fighting out of Riverside, California. He said his fighting style is like water, John.
Yeah, interesting individual here. Just been training for a year. He's 6 foot tall at 155 pounds, so very tall for the weight class. At 21 years old, he lists his heroes as Shaka Zulu, Bruce Lee, and his parents. So he's got a little bit of a wide range of idols there to look up to. We have seen him here in the Tuff-N-Uff cage before. He fought back in September, earned a unanimous decision over David Flores, and again, a member of that 10th Planet Riverside Academy that we've talked about on so many occasions.
Well, and you talk about the stark difference in training time. I mean, the Sepe brothers, who we just saw compete at just 18 years old, had been training since they were 9, so literally half of their life. Whereas Zulu here just got into mixed martial arts, he says, about a year ago.
Yeah, but when you train with the people that he's listed as, and that is beasts and gods, you get good very quickly.
Trial by fire. I like it. So Lenon Zulu Ford is inside the Tuff-N-Uff cage right now, set to go for 3 2-minute rounds. Let's meet his opponent.
And now out of the red corner, Jason Robles.
Well, so much for that reach advantage, because unfortunately for Zulu, Jason Robles also at 6 foot tall at 155 pounds. He's just 24 years old.
Yeah, Robles trains out of Joker's Wild Fighting Academy in Lake Forest, California, making his amateur debut tonight. Current favorite fighter listed as Jose Aldo, so that's certainly someone to try to live up to in your game. And, you know, we ask all the fighters what they see MMA going in 5 years, what they see the sport doing, where they see it developing. And I like his answer. I've never heard anybody say anything close to this before. I see MMA pushing the envelope of reality. And that kind of tells you, I guess, a little bit about his mindset and what he thinks. It's certainly, he wants to be on the cutting edge.
Pushing the envelope of reality. Does that mean it's fake again?
See, I thought it was like, you know, kind of pushing the boundaries of what can be done.
Whatever it may be. Let's see what he can do inside the cage. The lightweights are set to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next fight of the evening is in the lightweight division. Introducing first in the blue corner with 2 wins and no losses, fighting out of 10th Planet Riverside, California, Lenon Zulu Ford. Standing across the cage in the red corner, making his MMA debut tonight, fighting out of Joker's Wild Fighting Academy, Lake Forest, California, he is Jason Rumble Robles. Referee in charge of the action is Mark Smith.
All right, gentlemen, you got your instructions earlier. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands. If you'd like to, touch gloves. At the bell, be ready to fight.
2 very tall lightweights at 6 foot apiece. Lenon Zulu Ford wearing the black trunks with the green trim. Jason Rumble Robles is wearing the gray trunks with the black trim. Set to go.
Listed at the same height. Robles strikes you as a little.
Oh!
One right hand!
Huge shot early on from Robles. Knocked Zulu to the ground, but Zulu doing a nice job of recovering. Stunned there for a moment, but quickly back to his feet. Now he's the one with the underhooks. Let's see what he can do with it.
I was going to say, Robles strikes you as the taller fighter. He used that reach right away to land that big right, but props to Mark Smith for letting him fight on. Lenon Zulu Ford powered his way back up, working in the clinch now. Oh, critical mistake there on the takedown, but Ford with the great reversal. What an excellent scramble. Exposed his back, but didn't give it up. Twice Robles has seen the back, but unable to get the position.
Robles again connecting right on the chin. And Ford with the big takedown this time ends up in side control. Interestingly, John, a moment ago you said props to Mark Smith for letting them fight on. I really think that if Mark Smith had been a little bit closer, he probably would have stopped that fight.
It was pretty ugly on the way down.
But Ford did such a good job of recovering so quickly that it wasn't necessary, and the referee detected that and let the fight continue.
And now Lenon Ford in side control. What an incredible pace to him. Now into the mount. What a reversal of fortunes here for Lenon Ford.
Trying to maintain that position.
Very high right now. See Robles trying to spin, turn in. Shrimps out on the side, but isn't quite able to escape. And Lenon Ford reestablishes the position.
25 seconds left here in this round, and Ford has landed some big shots now. Robles just covering up, trying to avoid the damage.
Here with 15 seconds left.
Gives up the back, just like that, trying to get that arm underneath that chin, complete this choke. Final 10 seconds of round number 1. Will he have time? Referee telling him only a couple of seconds remaining here in this round, and it looks like Ford is going to end up in the final moment. Yeah, okay, that's the end of round number 1, but boy, that's a tough one to score, because Robles had such a dominant first half of the round, and then Ford just turned it on there in the second half of the round and ended in such a dominant position. Who do you give it to?
Man, that is a tough round of score, and you hate to give it 10-10, especially in a round that was that exciting. You know, I think Lenon Ford was obviously hurt early, but fought back and ended the round in a dominant position. I think a lot of times judges have a tendency to reward what they see last. Yep. So I tend to think that round probably went to Lenon Zulu Ford, even though we thought he could have been stopped in the early seconds there.
So going into round number 2 here, I don't even really know what you would tell these corners because the fight was just so all over the place. Yeah. I mean, when the fight hit the ground, the scrambles were some of the wildest scrambles that I've seen in quite some time. Both of these individuals fighting on, though, even when in bad positions, able to get through it. Let's see if this damaged where Robles is coming into the second round mentally, because right now he's got his hands on his hips. He looks a little bit dejected, whereas Zulu Ford, big smile on his face.
Absolutely. Robles looks a little fatigued. But, you know, if I'm in scoring, I'm telling Robles to try to stay at distance and use those punches like he did in round 1, because that was definitely his best work. You can see he fires straight punches right up the middle. Big takedown by Lenon Ford.
Big takedown again. He ends up in top position. Robles doing a nice job of trying to keep his knee up so that way Robles isn't able to get into that mount position yet again. But he's in a bad spot here. He's pushed up against the cage. Zulu Ford has him neutralized right now, and he's landed big punches. This time he has a full 90 seconds to work.
You can see Robles trying to roll over there. Lenon Zulu Ford establishes mount, pinning down the left arm there briefly. Jason Robles in a bad position here. Now, Lenon Ford looks like he might be trying to roll off for the armbar, but he re-establishes the mount position. I think that was smart. I thought he was about to give up the position, looking for the submission. And I think he's in such a dominant spot right now. Now he's going to fall to his back, go for the guillotine in full guard. Doesn't quite have the hands locked up. That's a risky maneuver for Lenon Zulu Ford because you essentially give up top position to go for the choke. He did not have his hands locked up when he went for the position switch, and now he has to let it go.
And now Robles in top position. Back to his feet. Zulu Ford makes his way back up and trading big punches. Ford looking for the takedown again. Man, when these two separate and start scrapping, it is thrilling.
It's a lot of fun, and I think that's where Robles has been the most successful so far.
And I think Ford knows that, which is why he's closing that distance and shooting for the takedown hard. This time his neck is a bit exposed.
Oh, knee to the body there. Mark Smith calls timeout. There are no knees in the amateur rules, no knees on the ground at all, and at that point, Lenon Zulu Ford was a downed opponent.
So just to clarify, you can't even throw a knee to the body.
Right. If you're in side control and want to throw a knee, you just can't do it in the amateur rules. When you're on the feet, you can throw knees. You just can't throw it to the head. I don't think there was any ill intention there from Robles. In fact, they might train pro rules in his gym. I don't think there was any ill intention there. He made sure not to throw it to the head.
Oh, man, what shots are trading here inside the cage. Ford now turning it on. He's got Robles rocked, pushing him up against the cage, lighting him up right now. Final seconds of the round. Oh, man, wow. Ford did a great job of connecting with some big shots. That is the end of round number 2. Boy, dominant round there for Lenon Zulu Ford. He did almost everything right. The one big blemish, if he made a mistake, was when he gave up that top position and rolled to his back, but then he was trying to close up a guillotine that just didn't work. My opinion, very dominant round for Lenon Zulu Ford.
Yeah, very clearly his round. I think he's up 2 rounds to none right now. Again, that first round was tough, so I don't think you can count on anything in that opening round, but round 2 definitely is. He showed that, again, when he keeps the thing inside, works for the takedowns, it's his fight. Jason Robles is going to need to try to keep distance and use his striking. Although he ate some tough strikes there at the end, he was at least still in the fight at that point.
And that's the sort of thing that can really rattle your confidence when you think, okay, if I can just get this fight back up to the feet and create a little bit of distance, that's where I'm having a lot of success, because that's what he thought in round number 1. But there in round number 2, Ford was the one that landed the zinger that dropped Robles and almost was able to finish the fight and put him away. Robles right now looking rather dejected. His hands are on his knees. Third and final round coming up. Is Robles able to turn the tides? He's in the gray trunks. Ford is in the black trunks. This is the third and final round here at the Tuff-N-Uff Amateur Fighting Championship.
Well, both fighters have put on a fantastic show so far, so let's hope they get finished out in style. You see Robles, the high kick there. It's those straight punches that have been most effective for him, but he did get rocked at the end of the second.
Big shot from Ford. Mouthpiece out for Robles.
Mouthpiece out.
Robles looks like he's eating some big shots and not liking it. Ford with another crisp right hand.
Mark Smith tried to let the fight carry on, but Robles was actually stepping on his own mouthpiece. The last thing you want somebody to do is roll their ankle or something along those lines, slip on it, allow for a fall. So Mark Smith was trying to let the fight carry on, but had to take a minute to put the mouthpiece back in.
And boy, Robles is looking tired right now, isn't he?
Yeah, hands on his knees, like you said, just a little dejected. His straight punches are still his best strikes, but unfortunately, since he's lost a lot of zip as the fatigue is setting in, what's happening is Lenon Zulu Ford is able to easily slip him and counter.
Yeah, and even a nice job with the jab there by Zulu Ford. Robles throwing high kicks. But you're right, the punches from Robles certainly a lot slower here in round number 3 than what they were in round number 1 when he was having a lot of success with them. Ford with the right hand that just glances off the side of the chin of Robles. Both of them just kind of looking at each other right now, looking for that opening. And Ford again connecting. Robles swing, miss, didn't set that up at all.
Ford just seems in better shape and having a little more zip right now, a little more quickness. Again, still can't count on anything from that first round. It was such a back and forth round, and Ford was almost finished. Yeah, I don't think he can cruise here. I think he needs to do something in this final minute.
That could do it right there.
Big takedown will certainly set it up.
30 seconds left here in this round. If he can end this round in top position, would certainly make a statement considering it's been a bit of a stalemate in this third and final round leading up to this moment here.
Yeah, the most significant offense so far has been the takedown, of course, and Lenon Zulu Ford is on top. Looks like he's going to finish the round on top as he passes out into his opponent's half guard.
Final 10 seconds here. Zulu Ford in top position, making a statement right in front of the judges' table. Big punches right to the face of Robles. That's the end.
Yeah, you can hear Ford's corner yelling for him to just keep punching, rack up the points. But I think he did enough. I think, you know, he could have taken this fight 30-27, but at the very least, you got to give him round 2 and round 3.
Yep.
And I think he should walk away with the decision win. Ford, it looks like something's bothering him.
I don't know if it's something that's bothering him or if that's just his style, because even when they were announcing his name, he wasn't hopping around the cage or acting all pumped up. He was just kind of resting back up against the cage, almost in a pose like he was meditating. So maybe that's just his style, very reflective. He looks like, well, you know, tough to tell. Nonetheless, probably going to walk away with a victory tonight. We'll find out in just a moment when the official judge's decision comes in. Entertaining fight, though, man.
An early fight of the night candidate for sure.
Yeah, opening up with a big shot that dropped him to the ground. Lenon Zulu Ford did a great job, in my opinion, turning the tides in his favor. We'll see what the judges have to say here.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of absolute combat, we have your winner by unanimous decision, the blue corner, Lenon Zulu.
When I got hit with that straight right, all I remember was waking up because my face hit the mat. And then I look up, and all I see is legs. And I hear my corner, shoot, shoot, shoot. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, I saw this happening, actually. It was actually a deja vu of that. It was weird. It was the weirdest thing ever. I had a deja vu of getting dropped. And that's horrible to experience during the fight. I saw this happening before. So it was a pretty exciting ordeal. This is actually a big theory around the gym too. It's just when I fight, I remember touching gloves in the beginning, and I'll remember certain things throughout it, things that stand out. But I just go into I don't know. I'll say it like this: when I come back, when the fight's over, it's like I'm coming down off of something. During the fight, it's all instinct. It's just whatever happens, it's there, and I trust my training. That's the big thing. Just like you would tell a soldier, trust in your training, trust in your instincts, things like that. Just with that war inside, trusting your training, trusting your instincts. So I'm glad that that's the product that happens after getting dropped, coming back. And I bet I was pretty mad. Like, you just think you're gonna hit me in my face that hard? Like, that's probably what was going through my mind. I remember when I had him in that guillotine, we were against the cage, because I watched it since then, and I can remember things from watching the fights. But when I had it, I shouldn't have never let him roll over into that. I didn't have the grip tight enough, and I was just kind of like, all right, yeah, let him go over. He'll slip right into it. But he postured up right when he got there. I broke the grip. It was all bad. first time being on my back in a fight. In my fights, I feel more comfortable. I would say on the ground, just because of the wrestling, and you find yourself in more of a. Well, I find myself in a lot of scrambles in my fights, and I feel like I excel whenever there's like a certain flow to things, instead of just trying to set things up all the time, and it's kind of getting telegraphed. Especially if you're going against a guy who's better at what you're trying to do than you are, you can't outthink him. It's not possible. So with that, I like to have like a flow, just a continuous motion to where you can't have time to think, because I'm used to that scramble. I'm used to that flow. With the stand-up and the fight, and my thoughts on stand-up fighting, I definitely like the stand-up game, just because that's where a lot of the strategy comes in, especially with a guy. I feel like if you're on the ground with a black belt, you better be careful no matter who you are, even if you're another black belt. But on the feet, I feel like it's more evenly matched because you have chance, and you have whoever. There's a lot of things that come into play, like your footwork, your mindset, your mental capacity, and things like that. Like I feel like with the trading in that particular fight, I was coming out on top just because he was coming in so strong. And with the footwork, I'd step out and wait for him to just go way too long with the shots, and there'd be a couple right there, and then just move out, just like the Matador. That's all it is. So it's fun when you can get caught, when you can get that sort of rhythm. Man, I'll tell you like this, and I'll be honest with you. I get called a boring fighter by my friends. Like they're telling me, man, why don't you have any knockouts? Why don't you have anything like that? But to me, like I said before, it's all about that fight, man. Especially in the amateurs, where it doesn't really matter the record per se. It's as much experience as you can get, as much time as you can get to be the best you can be when you get to where you need to go. And just with that fight, like there's a couple times where it's like, man, are you gonna step in? I'm hitting him a lot here, like not feeling bad or anything, but just, all right. I see you there with your hand like this, getting ready, and you're not doing anything. But it's one of those things you don't really think about, and you just get so caught in the moment to where it's like, all right, I like this, let's do this, and it's addicting, man. Just that spirit that comes over you when you fight. So I try to make that as long as possible. Looking back at the fight, I definitely wish I didn't get hit with that straight right. That'd be a avoidable thing next time. But I would definitely fix just getting in the rhythm quickly, or not quickly, just more quicker. Just because you get caught kind of stagnant sometimes, and you can either get caught with a big punch, or you can feel out of place in there. But just getting in the rhythm quicker, and timing my shots, I've been working on that a lot better, a lot more. And those are getting really crisp. And also just position over submission, just Eddie goes over that with us so much, Eddie Bravo. And when I have the back, just going for that deep hook. It's Eddie Bravo tells us this all the time. It's imperative, that deep hook in MMA. So it's been a long road getting them used to the fighting world. My dad loves it just because he used to box, and he played football, so he knows what it's all about. He knows that it's cool knowing that he's in tune with that combative spirit too, knowing that he knows exactly what's going on with me. But my mom's been to a couple of the fights. She didn't go to the last one. I'm glad. She probably would have jumped in there with a shoe or something after I got dropped. You never want to mess with mom, but they're coming around. My grandma is actually the most excited about all my fights, and it's pretty awesome. She's going to be there when I do Gracie Nationals. So they're all coming around. My brother comes, and that's really cool, having my brother in there. I've had to sacrifice a lot to get to where I am now, and I'm still not where I need to be. But just that's what makes it worth it. That's what makes it a fight. That's why we call ourselves fighters, is the things we have to sacrifice to get to where we want, the things we have to work for, the things we have to achieve just to be the best. And that's all a part of it. If you're not ready to lose that, if you're not ready to lose yourself, then you can't call yourself a warrior. You shouldn't be in the cage, just because that's how this game is. And that's why it's funny to see a lot of guys dropping out of the game. You see who's here for the right reasons.